I gotta remember to look at the camera not there.
But you're so captivating.
I know.
Look at me. This is the mic here?
Yes.
Hello. Oh, so we're live.
We're live.
We never know.
And
We're ready to go, right?
And what an exciting sterile setting we have.
Exactly.
Yes,
This
right,
is-
exactly. Welcome to our press conference.
Exactly. Someone shot me a message and said we just needed some flags behind us and
Mhm.
you know some plants, and we would look very regal
Well,
in nature.
I look like I'm 11.
Michael, can you sit up just a little bit?
Yes.
more?
Like
Yeah.
it's unbelievable.
Well,
Should we jump into
Yeah,
this?
all right, let's give them some
Okay,
content.
Jeff and
they
I are
can
here
have-
along with our little brother, Carl.
Right, somebody's got a screenshot. Look, I'm like an Oompa Loompa. It's unbelievable.
Hey, Upa, we're going to jump in, okay? So let's go. Well, listen, thanks for joining us on this call. You can tell that we're full of excitement and good humor. But in all seriousness, thank you for joining us on this call. We wanted to give you just a brief update on some of the operational volume issues, tech issues. Michael gave a great synopsis just the other day on that, and our commitment is to continue to update you as we make progress. I think we're making progress, but I also think we're in a very good place. The second reason for this call really is just to give a bit of a sense of what's coming down the pipeline, what's on the runway for this next year. We have a tremendous amount of confidence about where we're going, what we're doing, what is in store, and what opportunity that creates for you as coaches and for your teams. And so the purpose of this is to provide a little more vision for you and understanding of where we're going and what we'll be doing. So why don't we jump into the volume tech issue updates? And Michael, why don't you take that?
Anything you want to just hit before we?
I'll follow your lead.
You gonna follow my lead?
But I just want to say I appreciate what you guys, and I didn't plan this, but I appreciate what you guys have done to manage sentiment and what I would call a little bit of distraction around minutia of some of the tech issues that you're going to talk about, which I think are important. We take this stuff really seriously, but I also think that one of the most critical things that could come out of this kind of conversation, and in fact, I hope that to the extent that people don't watch the whole thing, the most important thing is that we all understand that we are called Team Beachbody for a reason. We're watching each other's back. We are a people business. And the most important thing is that, like, people keep their perspective about the opportunity and the value of what we're doing. And I've personally seen a little bit of what I would call overreaction and focusing on a little bit of what I would call, it's kind of like LA in the rain, how people can sometimes overreact to a little drizzle. Doesn't mean that you don't want to be a careful driver when it's raining, but at the same time, the world is not falling, and we have a major opportunity and an outrageous window of time coinciding with New Year's resolution time and the most elegant launch of a program on this platform with a little obsessed leading to 80-day obsession with these new packs than we've ever had. And it's very possible that people could be so focused on minutia and their concerns and their fear, which, as you know, Michael, fear can be a thing that destroys productivity.
I've heard that before.
Yes, and unless you find a way to get out of fear and get into the massive opportunity, you can miss it. And I don't want anybody to miss it because I don't intend to miss it. So that's the most important thing of this is don't get sucked into fear and minutia when you've got this 45-day window basically, and the launch of wave one and all this stuff. I don't want to trump what you're going to say, but attitude management and focusing on the opportunity and double checking, is there an opportunity, is a very important discipline. And that's why we call for personal development. And I think it's very important that we all manage ourselves. And we do it at the company. And I think it's important that when I say the company, that's within the corporate realm, we're here in a hotel with, I don't know how many people, 150 people or so up there, 100 people.
We allowed to
Seems
say
like
it?
it.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
A few less than that.
Okay, so we're basically laying down plans and visualizing what we can do to solve problems as we go into 2018. So why don't you talk specifically to some of the things?
So I just wanted to jump on that. So I get to talk about the rain for a second, which is always very exciting, but important. Okay.
Yeah.
But I think that the other thing that we want to do, just to set expectations for this call, is that, that there's rain, but there's a ton of sunshine. Like we're sitting in this meeting, last several hours, we've been meeting with a large group of our employees and talking about 2018. And there really is some new and tremendously exciting things that are coming in 2018. And I want to say that after I talk about the rain, you're going to spend a little bit of time talking about those things, so coaches, can get a little bit more vision than even we provided at leadership in terms of some of the things that are coming in the first half of this year.
Good.
So
Thematically, I just want to say, I also want to add that I don't discount what anybody's talking about, what you're about to talk about, and we are absolutely relentless with looking at, discussing, negotiating, and solving every issue that we come up, because at the end of the day, the network's success, the success of the field is our success. They are intrinsically joined. And so the fact that I don't post to the round table and respond to everybody's comment, or that sometimes these things sort of take off and take on a life of their own, doesn't mean that we're not actually doing the work of solving issues and creatively looking for ways to appropriately satisfy the demands of the field and or take advantage of the opportunities that the field is pointing out. So
yeah,
go ahead.
great. Okay, I'm going to take just a few minutes, kind of talk, and forgive me, some of this is going to be a little bit of a rehash of a post that I made on the roundtable, but not everybody got to see that. So
This is on the round table, this thing?
this
Yes.
is on
Okay.
the roundtable.
Okay.
So there's been a number of discussions on the roundtable around volume, around commission concern. As everybody knows, we're doing some incredible technology transitions now. With that comes sort of new stuff, and with that new stuff, there's always going to be some issues that we're going to work through. So first and foremost, let me just say that we don't take any affront or offense to the discussion on the wall. I mean, our objective really is we're partners with you guys. And we want to make sure that every single bit of volume and commissions are appropriately, go back out to the coaches because that's really the way this engine works. And so we're committed to that. We take everything that's brought up seriously. A lot of times, somebody will write something and there's like following, why haven't they responded? The reason we haven't is because we actually have teams of people kind of researching those, making sure, is it an issue, is it not an issue? Often it's not an issue, but sometimes it is an issue. And when it is an issue, just know that you guys can trust us, that we have your backs, that we're going to make sure that all of those issues get resolved.
Also, the round table is not customer service.
Right.
So we don't directly post to or solve to that particular communication point.
Yeah, and again, I just, in the spirit, I think that most people aren't necessarily saying, here's my problem, fix it. They're saying, is this a problem? And that's fair, and we want to address
But just to that though, I think it is a good point, is that the point for those issues is the VIP coach relations.
Yes.
And again, you can escalate those pieces, but that's going to be where everything's consolidated and we can address them in the most effective manner.
Yeah, so let's just go through some of the issues, and some of them, we'll talk a little bit about what's working to policy, and also potentially us looking at some of those policies and seeing if we need to take another look at those. So first of all, one of the things that's happened is, obviously with the new office, data is being presented differently, and that in sometimes is good and sometimes is bad in terms of what we're learning. So some of the issues that have sort of surfaced up around, should I have gotten credit for this order or not gotten credit for that order, there are a number of cases where it is just purely that the office reporting is not communicating as effectively as it needs to. So there are a number of orders where coaches fear that there is something wrong with the order, when in fact there's nothing wrong. It's just either giving you too much information or it's not giving you enough information to understand really what's supposed to happen with this order. So I will just let you know that we have a team of people working on that to bring some clarity. There's going to be some times where there are these orders that really mean nothing to a coach, except it's causing confusion. We're working on not presenting that information, and other information we're going to make more clear. I'll give you just an example of this. I put it in the post. But for those of you that didn't see the post, so one of the confusions that happens is somebody might see a return order for a given price. So it'll say like minus 139.27, and they see that negative, but they don't see any corresponding positive order in their office for 139.27, and they're assuming, hey, they just refunded an order that never was given to me in the first place. There's a problem here. What actually happens is that it would never be the same because shipping and handling isn't refunded. So the original order price is a different price than what the return price is. The problem in the office is there's nothing that tells you that this return is associated with this original order. So a lot of confusion there. We get a lot of calls into coach relations on that specific topic, but a number of things just relate to how the information is being presented. We're going to work through and clean a lot of that up. Where we did find, where as we're reviewing these things, we did find a couple places where there were either errors or there was a belief on the coach that they should have been assigned volume differently. So let me address the errors first. And by the way, there were very few errors. Nonetheless, there are errors. So I want to acknowledge that. We did not find a case. Actually, that's not true. We did find one case, but it had already been resolved. But just to calm some nerves, we didn't find any cases where the system wasn't working as it was planned. Okay, so there was never a case where an order went through our new technology systems and at the end the volume did not apply correctly. So that's very good news because 99% of the orders go through the system that way. Where we found problems with commissions and volumes tended to be when there was a manual interaction. So it was a case where a customer service agent had to take an order, either do we call it a volume and commission transfer. So it might have been that a customer placed an order, got put through the lead wheel. The customer then called and said, I meant to sign up under Jeff. There has to be a manual move of the order. And in some of those very intricate processes, and I will say in the old system, there would be an error. And it could be as simple as a box on the customer service screen wasn't checked or the wrong SKU was used when they placed that order. And so we did find orders that were incorrect like that. Again, not a lot of them, but we did find them. What I mentioned is that in the new system, a lot of that opportunity for a coach for a customer service agent to go in and sort of manually deal with an order or hit that checkbox or do that, those are all locked down. So the ability for an agent to do those in the future won't be there. The system is going to take care of a lot of those things. But as you know, in terms of what the new commerce system, internally we refer to it as Wave 1, the new commerce system that's been launched in the UK, it's been launched in Canada. It's about to be launched. We're excited. Sunday night, coming this Monday in the US. But there are still a bunch of these orders, historical orders out there in the old system that still had this sort of issue where there could be some of these human errors. And I do want to clarify that not every order that's touched by a customer service agent has an error on it. It's human. So there is going to be a small percentage that are going to go through. When that happens, we will, of course, correct those things. I'm going to get to auditing in a second. So let me just keep going. So the good news that I just want to say is that after really thoroughly vetting the system, it's a sign the system is working. Okay, so I want to be 100% clear. The system is working. We did find a case, it's been solved already, but when we first actually launched the system and tested it, we did it on Ultimate Reset. There were a handful of Ultimate Reset challenge pack orders that create the Shakeology continuity, where we had found this a while back, that the team volume was not being assigned on the continuity orders, the subsequent HD orders. So that was an area we found in what we call hypercare. When we launch a product, we find it, we've solved for that. It was only related to those Ultimate Reset challenge packs, which is a very tiny number of orders. But that was a case where checking the system, we found it and we fixed it. So that's one issue. We still have a little bit of working through on these legacy orders, but again, moving forward, the root cause has been addressed. The biggest other piece that coaches are finding is that there are orders where they either believe they should have gotten credit and believe that the system should have automatically given them credit versus kind of the way the policy works. One area of that is around our money back guarantee window. So we have a policy that a current policy and has been in place since the beginning of time. Actually, I would say, we'll say it's been in place for a long period of time. But that is that we want to make sure, we strongly adhere to our money back guarantee policy. The way that works is that if something has a 30-day money back guarantee, someone can call in and cancel within those 30 days. But they're just calling in to request the refund. They still have to ship us the product back if it's a physical good like Shakeology or something like that. We give them another period of time, 30 days, to do that. If it comes in, if it's beyond that window, so the money back guarantee plus the 30 days, we tell the customer that they're outside the money back guarantee window and we won't honor it. There are occasions for extenuating circumstances that we would make an exception to that. But when we choose to make an exception to that, we don't want the coaches to be held accountable for that. So,
or have a consequence
of that. Unfortunately, and this has always been the case, we do not have a systematic way for, as we ingest those returns, the system automatically just says return, clawback, volume, and commission. We have that on our roadmap to fix, but the policy has always been that if you find an order, and it troubles us that this is the policy, but the way the system works, we haven't been able to capture this. But if you find an order that is outside of that, a return outside of that window, you are entitled to call Coach Relations and request an adjustment to that order, and Coach Relations will make that adjustment. And we realize that this is a burden on the coaches. Nothing new, but it's a burden on the coaches. So one of the things that we're going to be doing going forward, and it's going to take us a few days to get the process in place, is we're going to address this twofold. So we are going to accelerate our sort of systematic solution to this, but that's going to take some time because there's programming involved, there's warehouse software, there's our software, there's lots of pieces to that. So that if there is an out of window return, you will never even see the clawback in your office. It's going to take us a little while to get there. So in the interim, we're working on a process where—
By not see it, you mean it won't happen?
It won't happen. There won't be the clawback.
Right.
So it will not happen. We'll return the product and we'll give the customer their money back, but the coach will not be penalized. Until that happens, what we're going to do, hopefully we will have this in place by next week, is that we are going to make regular manual reviews of this, and then our customer service agents will make adjustments. And so the difference, and I want to be clear, is that you are still going to see the negative commission and negative volume. And then a few days later, you will see a adjustment that offsets that. So
if it was outside the guarantee window.
if it was outside the guarantee window.
Okay.
And so once we have that process fully defined, we'll articulate for you, you should wait 5 days, and if you don't see the adjustment, then call customer service. But we have teams working on how do we do that short term through a manual sweep and manual adjustment? How do we do that long term so that we never see it? So that's something that's in process. The other sort of policy issue that exists and has always existed, and if you pull up the policies and procedures, it talks about when a coach gets credit for orders. And the policy very clearly says that, the existing policy very clearly says that any customer that is assigned to a coach, that any order that customer places on teambeachbody.com, the coach will get credit for. That's what the policy says. So the policy doesn't say if they shop on any Beachbody site. It says if they shop on Team Beachbody. And there's a number of reasons why that was the policy, and that policy was put in place 11 years ago when we launched the business. What we also recognize is that the business is evolving a little bit. It used to be Beachbody had a TV business, coaches had, their social business, and they were fairly separate. So what we're saying is that we're going to reevaluate our policies, and we do think that there's opportunities for us to identify certain sales that might be made on Beachbody.com and proactively give the coaches credit for those orders. That is also so let me tell you the steps to get there. So first of all, we have to define the rules. So we need a few days to kind of define those rules. And they're just so you understand, like, you might be sitting there going, it's so easy. Why does it take them a few days to think of the rules? It's really a very multi-layered thing. There are things like on Beachbody.com, somebody might buy something on a 3-pay, which means that we can't really pay the commission until all of the funds are received. We don't want to be in a position where you're telling your customers, just go to beachbody.com and shop, it'll get there. We still, first of all, with the launch of the new site, teambeachbody.com is a far superior shopping experience. But we've got to, so what John and Carl and Jeff and myself are committed to doing is we're going to reevaluate those policies and see where it is fair and just that credit gets assigned. And it's going to take us, again, a few days to define that policy and update that policy, and we'll communicate for you guys to do that. And that way, proactively, it will just, the system will account for many of those things.
Can I just add, though, the structure of two databases, one serving the direct side of the business, which was marketing or is marketing on television and through social media and other direct means, and the other which is owned by Team Beachbody and its coaches. That structure had benefit to both parties, particularly, and this is one of the reasons that we got in the business in the first place, is we were very good and are very good at generating new customers, but in terms of helping those customers succeed, we felt that this concept of a daily, a premium shake that would be very difficult for us to try to direct market, but was more likely to be marketable through a peer or through a coach. That was something that we'd like to take these people who come through this other channel that we're very good at generating and then hand them over to a coach to get results and hopefully transact on that shake. Those two databases were both, in terms of supporting the customer and a business model, quite prolific. now that the business has shifted more where we're actually getting more customers from this side, it has created
Team Beachbody side.
that it's coming through the Team Beachbody side. It's not nearly as advantageous. And so there's new rules that we've got to put in place to avoid leakage, basically, that comes in over here inadvertently, but we still meaningfully want to provide the lead program so that customers who are not necessarily reaching 300 million people overweight or obese, and within our sphere of influence right now, I think it's 450 million people that we could possibly reach. We want to be able to assign them to a coach. So this duality will be maintained. However, at the present time, we have to tighten up the rules and find a technological way to make sure that people who aren't specifically directed to the appropriate website and find their way on this side, that we can try to clean that up so the coach gets the credit that they're due. Anyway, I just wanted to make it clear that we weren't casual about the setup of two different databases that weren't constantly talking to each other. That there was a business reason for that.
Yeah. Well, let me just throw in one piece. You wouldn't say this, but we meet every Tuesday with our executive management team and with an expanded group where we address the issues that are confronting the field in all parts of the business. And as we discuss some of the headwinds here, this was a piece that you felt extremely passionately about and directive about, saying, look, we have got to address this. We've got to take care of these issues ASAP. Type of thing. So whereas you may not say that, I mean, the pressure and that directive has been there. And so when you say there are people moving and shaking behind the scenes, that is happening to resolve and come up with these solutions.
Yeah. So that's kind of an overview. The one thing I would say is, so again, going forward, I think that there's going to be some opportunities for us to revisit policy and potentially do that. I think it's going to be difficult for us to make those policies retroactive. But going forward, we're committed to doing that, and I'm hoping by next week we'll be able to give you some very good specifics on that. And also, I'm hoping that over the next several weeks, you're going to see a lot of cleanup in the office world to help with that. Question though is, should I be auditing my orders? The answer is yeah. I mean, I do think it's a good thing to audit your orders. As I said, these legacy orders where there could potentially be something in error, or frankly, until we get the money back guarantee process in place, I think it's good for you to, what I would say is, as with any business, I think that on a weekly basis, you should do an audit of the orders that you should do an audit of the orders of the past week. And if you see any anomalies, call Coach Relations and work through those anomalies. I think that's a healthy part of the business. Now, having said that, what I would say is that really, when we look at sort of and so again, and you're going to catch some stuff, and hopefully that's going to mean you'll get, an extra $32 here and an extra 100 volume points there, or 5 volume points, or 15 volume points. But that's all legitimate, and we want you to have those, and want you to, make sure you're focusing on that part of the business. At the same time, there's some really exciting things that are going on that as we look forward, that are huge in my mind, not just sort of lost volume capture, but massive opportunities to create new volume. And again, we're sitting in this meeting earlier today, and as we're talking through these things that frankly, and coaches on the roundtable have said, it's not just the office, and the volume isn't the only things that they've brought up as things that they feel are missing in their business that could reignite their business. And what I'm excited is that we've been listening to those things as well, and working with the Coach Advisory Board. And there's some really, really blue sky things that are going to be launching over the next year, and even the first half of next year, that I think address so many of these issues, that I think can give our coaches and our leaders confidence that this opportunity is as vibrant as going forward as it was, as we had tremendous growth in the network. So Carl, maybe you can
Well,
jump in.
I've got some notes here, like obviously just the launch of Wave 1 Sunday night and the ability to use Share a Cart to proactively sign up somebody, make sure that they go to the right site. And we've seen already, just in the UK and Canada, looking at conversion of prospective new customers who land on this new site configuration, we've seen conversion go up. So for the same amount of traffic that you might drive to the Team Beachbody site, to your Team Beachbody site, we're seeing just conversion go up. And that is substantial and opportunity that will present itself next week. On top of that, we've seen revenue per transaction go up. And that's in the UK, which does not have the same sort of proliferation of product, and even Canada, which doesn't have Daily Sunshine, for instance. We've seen revenue per checkout go up on this new site. Again, same traffic, same intent, more revenue, higher conversion. So that opportunity unlocks officially next week. Next, you've got this incredible, perfectly timed launch of 80-Day Obsession, and a couple of concepts. One is that the team has done a great job putting these challenge packs together, including the mega pack and the accessories pack, so that we can get coaches excited about this program. We can all start on January 15th with 80-Day Obsession, and there's a specific pack for that program that you can point to and you can sell with the Share a Cart function, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So as of December 14th, we should, like, if you want to focus, and again, everybody should get the commission, they should audit, If I were a coach, I would be as focused as possible as having hundreds of people in my challenge group, starting with a little obsessed, teeing things up starting December 26th. The program becomes available December 20th, but December 26th, get your group together. But that doesn't mean they can't be committed to that January 15th start date.
Can I just jump in there for 1 second?
Yes.
I'm sorry to steal your thunder, but I don't know if everybody on the round table listens to the National Wake Up Call.
Yeah.
So they might not. But if you haven't, the past National Wake Up Call, Miguel Carrasco and Kim Carver did a phenomenal job about how to mobilize your downline organization around these packs and around 80-Day Obsession. To me, it's a must listen to all of you out there, and something that you should share with your teams. Incredibly valuable to address that point. So.
Yeah, and look, you make Success Club this month. You get the comfort mat, the foamy mat with the 80-Day Obsession brand on it. You get the tank or t-shirt. We are focused as a team, as a squad, on this 80-Day Obsession start date on January 15th. In fact, you'll even see at the end of the A Little Obsessed videos, when they launch and you get people doing them, remember, they're in front of the paywall. There is a strong call to action to talk to your Team Beachbody coach to get the challenge pack. Autumn does it. She says, great job on the workout. Now I want you to get the challenge pack. Get with your coach to get started and get teed up for this. And of course, what is the thing that people ask us the most in coach ranks? And that is, can I be a part of the next test group? You have the opportunity. Your team, you should be leveraging that your team can be a part of the coach test group led by Autumn, contributed to by me and our entire fitness, nutrition, and results team to provide resources to our marketing efforts with an exclusive coach test group that starts January 15th. And we'll be putting people who buy the accessory pack, or coaches who buy the accessory pack, buy the completion pack, or sign up to be a coach with the 80-Day Obsession challenge pack, one of the 15, and they'll be automatically invited to be in that challenge, that coach test group. That is a major desire for our coaches and participants to be a part of that sort of trainer-led group, and that's something that you can leverage.
And can I just, I'm sorry, but
yes, of course.
I'm going to, whether you let me or not. I always ask permission.
You said this would be 10 minutes. I think
That's okay.
Okay.
But you know, one of the things that we heard on the wall and we heard from our coach advisory board was that one of the challenges of Beachbody On Demand and the introduction of Beachbody On Demand in 2017 was that so many of the downline coaches just already had access to the product. And so when we would launch a product, there was a certain like passiveness, like, oh yeah, it's in there, I'll get to it when I can. And I think that hurt us in 2017. It hurt us because we didn't have, when we typically had a launch, coaches and leaders would make sure that everyone in their organization was getting that pack and was buying the program, buying into the program, having skin in the game. And so that what happens is when you have that depth of the organization focused and those people getting results, it just creates that many more promoters, which can have an exponential effect on volume.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, what you just mentioned in the coach test group, this sort of exclusive opportunity for coaches to participate in this in this test group, one, it's going to get them incredible results because they're going to be able to interact with Autumn, have that accountability, and really understand the program and allow them to do tremendous, you know, really have even more effective challenge groups. But two, it's an opportunity to get all of your coaches in on this thing, and that just amplifies the volume opportunity.
You've got two bites at the apple here. First is between now and January 15th, starting as many coaches and customers in those challenge groups and being super proactive about it because they're all going to want to do something come January 1st. So take advantage of it. You know, again, listen to this phone call because Miguel and Kim did a great job. But at the end of the day, just do the work. Invite like you never have invited. But the second bite at the apple is as of January 15th, now we're going to have all these coach test group participants. We're going to have all these assets, all this social media focus on 80-day obsession. That is an opportunity for you to be putting more people into the next wave of 80-day obsession for the next couple of months because we're going to be doing this from January 15th through April 14th. So like there's going to be a lot of attention on this program and plenty of time to be executing waves of challenge groups. So it's not all just till January 15th, but that's a great, that getting the coaches engaged in it now and their, you know, warm market current customers and also getting them to renew Beachbody On Demand so that they have access to 80-day obsession is like a major volume opportunity for everybody, both with Shakeology and Beachbody Performance and 3-day refresh, which by the way, I'm doing my own refresh on December 19th. Of course, we get the 3 new yoga videos in Beachbody On Demand. I encourage you to maybe do a 3-day refresh with me, including you guys, because you're looking a little puffy. All right.
Let's talk about 2B mindset.
Okay. So one of the things we heard from the coaches, and it was actually in the coach advisory board meeting that we were all teed up to present, or my product development team was teed up to present this new concept of 2B mindset, which is quite revolutionary because it really takes the emphasis off of exercise in order to get control of food, nutrition, weight, and emotional eating. So where some people might have their own exercise thing they want to do, or they don't want to exercise at all, but they do want to lose weight and get control of their food. We've gotten very positive indications of demand for that. However, the coach advisory board was very strong in their desire that we not just put that into Beachbody On Demand All Access and once again have major value potential get absorbed in All Access. So we are actually launching that completely off the platform. It'll still be available in challenge packs, still be combined with Shakeology, but it will be a standalone that people will have to pay for in order to get access to the content and materials to execute on the 2B mindset. Now, within that challenge pack configuration, there will probably be some way to get access to BOD in there with an additional upcharge.
So just to be clear on that, it's gonna, so 2B mindset will have its own standalone site, separate
app.
And apps separate from Beachbody On Demand. So when you talk about a challenge pack, what we're really, that product just unto itself will have a price. So to buy 2B mindset, it has a price. The challenge pack will be a combination of that product with Shakeology and a coach that will have its own challenge pack, separate from the Beachbody On Demand challenge packs.
Yeah.
We'll probably have another challenge bundle that where you would get 2B Mindset, Shakeology, and Beachbody On Demand for a higher
Yes.
price. So,
Yeah.
but it's just separate. I want to make that clear.
Okay, good. So, do you want to say
So I
something?
just want to, so from a time frame standpoint, what are we looking at?
We don't know yet. Spring is what we're hoping for, but separating these apps, there was a lot of technology woven together, putting that into BOD. We're talking about a standalone. Today, what's today? Thursday. I should know by Monday what that timing looks like. Not that I'm going to share it right away because I need to validate that, but the point is we want to launch that as in the second quarter. So that's April or later, but before Summit. So that's the objective there. Secondarily, also in that timeline, you've asked for additional products to sell, and while some of us, like me, I drink Daily Sunshine in the afternoon as a snack when I have had a light lunch or something and I get hungry before dinner. Many people eat bars. So you guys said, look, we've had these bars, we've been formulating these bars for a while. You've got to expedite that. So we changed our priorities within the nutrition and R&D department, and now, of course, are going to be delivering them again in spring. I think right now we're looking at April, and so that'll be an additional opportunity.
And by the way, launching them in Canada, US, and UK, hopefully all at the same time.
Yeah, that's a very big deal, and we're doing the best we can to make that a contiguous launch. Shall we call that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Either you had too much fiber or
No,
something.
I'm worried that people are texting me saying like the Zoom isn't working. Yeah, no, that's
All
fine.
right, that's good.
It's very popular.
I don't know, man. I just hear something
is
going
fiber.
on down there. Okay. Next, again, I'm not making a product announcement, but I want to make a presentation announcement that we always have a product that we target toward an announcement before Summit, but then the launch at Summit. And we have a product code name. I don't even want to give you the code name.
It's just a product.
But there's a product that we're very excited about. We are in development now, but here's how we're going to launch this. We are actually going to launch the Coach Test Group in alignment with what we call Early Bird Access just following Summit. And that will be produced similar to the way we did A Little Obsessed, where it will be largely produced in real time with coaches and customers doing that program. But that will be on Early Bird Access, meaning coaches and customers will have to pay to get access to that first wave of that product.
Yeah, so kind of an analogy would be similar to like we used to have the entire, what did we call it? Unlocks. So similar that you could have Beachbody On Demand, but if you wanted this new product, you had to pay for the unlock. It'll be a similar type scenario to that. Kind of.
But here's what's more deliberate about it, and that we are still making good on the promise of all access. When that program, when that first wave is done, in a little bit of, maybe a couple weeks or maybe a month thereafter, it will go into the all access library. But for early bird access, that'll be something that for some fee, we're not sure what that's going to be yet, people have to pay to get that early bird access. And that'll be just sometime immediately after Summit. So obviously at Summit, we'll be giving sneak peeks. We'll be getting people, that'll be a workout that we do as part of the events at Summit. So if you're thinking about it, you're on the fence, or your team's wondering about it, if they want to have some little sort of dip their toe in this brand new thing, they want to be at Summit. And then they're going to want to pay some fee to be part of the early bird access and to be part of this concept of a coach test group, which won't happen until just following Summit. So we're pretty excited about sort of returning to this concept of what we would call the flywheel, that there had to be buy-in in order for people to participate, so they truly got skin in the game.
Yeah, and I think just also addressing what many of our coaches have said this year, and one of the turbulence issues with the BOD All Access was that when we would have a launch, they really didn't have a chance to kind of monetize it in the way that they were able to do in the past.
Yes.
And so this is really addressing that issue that surrounding the launch, there's going to be this way for them to engage their downline, engage customers, but to create this monetizing opportunity around the launch without trying to just figure out, okay, more product and bought, how do I turn that into?
Yeah, so we're gonna have to wrap up here because we're moving. But I mean, as I look at this, and if you were to helicopter up a bit or back out of this thing and say, so what is the opportunity here? I look at this from the standpoint of the bundles and the packs that have been created, the mega packs that it offer everything that a coach would need to complete this program. This is, again, all about creating results for our customers, for our clients, and these packs do that. Not only that, but they also provide commissions and volumes at a higher level. So there's something very, very significant in our 80-day obsession launch that coaches need to take advantage of now. The second piece on this is this to-be mindset, which is the separate channel, which again creates another opportunity for volume and commissions. And I am talking to the people that are building a business and looking at this that have expressed concern about volume. We're listening to that. The other piece is we are launching bars, more volume, more opportunity, more stickiness with our clients. And then this early access piece around BOD, which we have heard. And I think all of these line up very powerfully for this next year and the opportunity that it creates.
So I appreciate that, but I want to go back to the premise that is so powerful here is we are helping people get control of their health in a very meaningful way, and we have the tools. I appreciate all of the posts and the things that are pointed out and where value creation can happen. But I also believe that if your heart is in it, the opportunity is there, and you can get way wound up in other ideas and potential things and brainstorming and completely miss the opportunity that is sitting right in front of us. And I know I can do that too. You get enamored of this sort of blank sheet of paper and what if I did this and how about meditation and blah, blah, blah. Look, we're all over all that stuff. But what we do have right now is an amazing opportunity going into January 1st and then January 15th to leverage an incredible platform with over $8,000 of content on it, a trainer who is more committed to getting thousands of people, tens of thousands of people started with her program than any other trainer. She's been on 2 coach calls a day, getting people started. I mean, take advantage of the tools right in front of you. Focus on getting people into an 80-day obsession group. Get them started if they want on a little obsessed, but don't lose sight of the opportunity that's sitting right in front of you in the interest of focusing on the problem. If I asked all of our team in preparation for today to read the book, what's it called? The Obstacle is the Way. I always say the objection. The Obstacle is the Way. And as you read that book, you listen to that book, the lights are going to go off in your head, and you'll say, "Oh my gosh, what I've been seeing as a problem is I've been focusing on the wrong thing because I've got an amazing opportunity here that if I'm creative, if I look at that obstacle as the opportunity in and of itself, I will understand why Carl keeps saying how enthusiastic he is, and I'll understand why that company still believes that we can solve our way through all these problems and be the ones who focus on people and their outcomes because we have you. Because we have fitness, nutrition, and peer support. But we have to do it. We have to embody the positive, enthusiastic approach to this and not get sucked down by a negative, resentful, poor me attitude, which will absolutely crater your business. And I'm not saying that to chastise anybody or criticize anybody. I'm saying it for you. Do the personal development, find a way back to positivity so that people can be like, I want to work with you because you're so damn positive. That's the opportunity for you. And that's what we are. I am Team Beachbody means I believe in this blue little ball that supports people helping people. So let's help people and let's get back to the work and let's take advantage of the technological advantages that are just about to be released into next week. And then December 14th, it's game on, baby. So let's get back up to our meeting.
Awesome.
And let's get back to helping people.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.